I'm really hoping this shirt is like really sparkly and has like, I really like it, but I don't have my contacts in, so I can't tell how. I think I can get away with, as long as I'm not like this, not looking like a floating head. Meh, whatever. I finally got something in the mail today that I have to tell you about. This is something that I've been so excited about. So, like months ago, I got the Makeup Geek Duochrome pressed eyeshadows in the mail. And I was like, these are nice, they're really pretty, but they're not as intense as, you know, when I think duochrome, I want like my Naked Cosmetics Ivory collection. That's like my go-to. That's what I want, is just to be able to see that much of a shift, like something crazy. And the pressed eyeshadows were nice, but they weren't giving me what I needed. So I said, hey, is there any way I could get a sample of the pressed powders? And they didn't have them in stock. So I was like, wah wah. Finally saw they were in stock and got them today, and I'm really excited to share it with you. First and foremost, the first thing that I really like about these is they're like a thick pigment. That sounds weird to say, but sometimes you get pigments where they're really thin and you can't, like, they don't show up. These are more like thick, they like grab on, and I think that's awesome. Plus, you can use them wet, which is going to amplify that insane pigmented duochrome goodness all the more. So that's something you really couldn't do with the eyeshadows. So let's talk about them, because yes. First one is called Sugar Rush. Sugar Rush is a white pigment, kind of like an ivory shade, and it has this insane blue shift. Definitely is like a vanilla more than just like a straight white, so it's a more like yellowy toned white, but when you swatch it, the shift in it is this purple, bluish, pinkish, really strong, and oh my gosh, I love it. And like I said, these are thicker. I don't know, I know that sounds weird to say like a thicker pigment, but it just makes them just apply really smoothly, and you don't have to keep applying more. The next shade is Prism. This is a vanilla shade. It's kind of like a golden white. It's got a warm duochrome aspect to it, so it's this like peachy pink orangey shift. So this shade and Sugar Rush really are kind of opposites in the sense that they are white based, but then they have a warm and a cool tone. So these two alone are two that I would recommend getting, just because you could take any look, whether it's cool toned or warm toned, and apply this just right in the center, like in the tear duct area, and it brings a look from like a 5 to an 11. It's amazing. The next shade is called Mood Ring. This is a really interesting shade because when you look at it in the pot, it's this kind of like muted grayish lavender, but when you swatch it, you see all of that pink come out. The pink is so vibrant and light, it kind of really balances against the cool grayish tone of the base color. It's really, really unique. I really like it. I'm obsessed with all of these, and you really get kind of a foiled look even though you're not using them wet. If you use them wet, it's insane. Next up is Hologram. This one is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So it's a peachy pink base with this crazy, crazy, crazy gold shift. And the shift in this one is one of the most prominent. I mean, you can see when I move my hand back and forth, it just changes from this bright peachy pink to a kind of vibrant golden green color. It's really interesting, and just the duochrome is so strong. The duochrome is strong in this one. Next, we have Wildfire. This is a bit of a deeper pink. It's kind of, reminds me of rose gold. Or not rose gold, I'm sorry, rose pigment from MAC, but a better consistency. It's got kind of that rosy pinkish color as the base, and then it's just got such a strong golden shift. There's no way I could show you guys just flat, like, photos of these, because the way that they change when the light hits them is amazing. Next shade is Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is another one that seems like a muted kind of bluish gray color, but when you swatch it, it's just got this crazy lavender shift that you would never guess just looking at it, but it really comes out in the swatch. And again, the texture on these is just so nice and creamy, and I don't even know how it's good. Next one, we've got Chameleon. This is one of the darker shades here. This is a very dark shade on the kind of a steel blue shade. And it's got a phenomenal, oh my gosh. See, it looks dark in the pot, like the color looks dark, but then when I swatch it, it's not dark at all. It's got so much of a shift going on. It's just this bright gold and green amazingness. So this one actually surprised me because it looked a lot darker in the container than it does on my hand. Last but not least is Insomnia. This is a very dark shade. It's on the like charcoaly side, and when you swatch it, it actually has this beautiful blue duochrome, and you actually can see when it moves in the light, it almost has a bit of a pink undertone as well that you really don't see when you just hold the container. I really like these. Now, one of the things I'm not obsessed with here is the packaging. So when I got these, they came just like this, with no stopper, with nothing to kind of control the flow, so to speak. It kind of was like how MAC pigments are, just open. And I tend to not like that just because it scares me, and I've had more than one occasion where I've completely just made a giant mess because something spilled. So they also came with these little stoppers, and these have a little hole in them so that you can kind of control the flow, so to speak, of the pigment. You can turn it over and sort of tap it out so that you can get some on the lid. It just kind of makes things easier in my opinion. I put them in each one of these, and I'm noticing that more often than not, when I open the top, they get stuck in the top. So they're not staying secure in the container. And I mean, when I got them, they weren't in them. They were in like a separate little like bubble wrap container. So you don't need to use them, and they're kind of there like almost as an afterthought. But the fact that they don't fit, and it kind of makes them useless to begin with. So I'm not really a fan of that because, like I said, just personal preference, I kind of like to have something there that's not gonna make me spill an entire pigment and regret every decision of my life. So overall, I gotta say, these are fantastic. If you like duochrome anything, even if you don't, like, you can't not like these. Just yes, 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 yes. My top picks would probably be Sugar Rush because it's such an icy blue, and just the shift in it is really strong, and it's phenomenal. I also love Prism because I feel like these two you can use with any look, just because of they would look good as an inner corner highlight, and they would really accentuate a warm look and a cool look. I also love Hologram because it's just, the shift in it is really prominent. Most of these you see like that it's a shifting color on top of a base color, but Hologram's the only one that when it moves in the light, you can see it changing. It's the most prominent. And then I gotta say, I really love Mood Ring. I think it's a really interesting color. I like the lavendery aspect to it, and it's very unique. So there's my kind of thoughts here. I love it. I know you can get the set of 8 of them for, I believe, $90 on the Makeup Geek website. I think that a lot of brands kind of treat duochrome as like here and there, when I feel like they're my favorite eyeshadows and pigments to work with, and I don't see them enough. So I'm all about this, and so excited to use them. So here, I just wanted to also add, here is a look at all of the pigments used wet, just a quick swatch to see the difference. Before was just swatched dry with my finger. This is swatched wet with a brush, and you can definitely see it totally amps up the way that the duochrome is perceived, or that it looks. Words. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this is something you totally need or would never use ever. And love you guys. I'll see you later.